Okay, so now before starting, I just want to mention that in the last video I forgot to add data here, so please do that. And in addition, if you go down to the functions here, you will notice that we're writing here something that is previous category dot lesson, and it should be lessons because the category has lessons and not lesson. Okay, so everything here is okay, everything here is okay. Now let's start working on this. Well, here I think we need to add course dot title. Okay, before starting with dealing with the templates here, I just want to go back here and to show you that, like we did with the lesson template before starting with it, that here we have icons according to if the lesson is video or written, and for sure this is wrong. A written lesson shouldn't have a timing, but something interesting, and all of them are divided into category. Something very interesting is that number here, 1 hour 30 minutes. Well, this is the sum of all the video lengths in a category. And I want just to change the format here, because for example, if I have 90 minutes, I don't want to write 90. I want to write 1 hour 30 minutes, 30 min in this way. So to do that, I need to configure some custom filters. Okay, so let's start by creating a new folder here in the courses app, because we are going to deal with something related to the courses app. And I will say template tags. Inside of this folder, I will create two files. The first one is __init, which is the initializer, and another one called custom_filters.py filters. And here, I will start writing from Django import template. And then I will say register equal to template.library. And now I'm going to write a function. So I will put a decorator for this function, that is register.filter, to tell Django that this is should be registered as a filter. And this function is going to be, let's call it duration view. Okay, and it takes a value. Okay, so this function is going to take a value, and I will say hours equal to value with a division over 60, and minutes is equal to value modulo 60. And so if hours is equal to 0, then in this case return for me just minutes min, and else return f hours hr minutes min. Great. Now I save this one, and whenever I create a custom filter, I need to stop the server and rerun it again, and now you will notice why. So now I stop this one. Templates tag, now I have a cache inside of it, so caches means that it deals with that directory in a correct way. Okay, now in order to work on that or to use that, we need to load it. So I will load here custom_filters. Okay, great. Now let's start by dealing with the template here. As you can see here, I will open the inspect element, and I will let you see that each category here is represented as accordion item card. So first thing I will do is to remove all the accordion item cards and keep just one single accordion item card. So starting from here till the end. Okay, great. Let me just make sure that the structure is the same. Yes, it is. Now we have just one single accordion item, and here, as you can see, we have different lessons. So I will remove just one single lesson and keep two of them. The reason of keeping just two of them is just because I want to use this one later, because this one is the icon for a written lesson. Now let me stop here and refresh the page to make sure that everything is okay. As you can see, we have just one single lesson with a video and written lessons. Now let's start working to transform this one into a dynamic view or a dynamic template. So starting from the beginning here, I will say for category in course.categories.all. Okay. Another thing to mention here is that this number 2, 1, 1, 1, these numbers are not static, but they are dynamic. Before removing the other categories, it was better to show you that the second category, for example, it is heading to 2. The number here is 2. Well, because this one helps the CSS in order to render the categories in an assorted way. Okay, so this one is dynamic, and in this case we need to use for loop a dynamic way. So it is for loop.counter. Okay, the for loop.counter, it will dynamically put here the number that it represents the index of the current iteration. Okay, and we will do that for all the numbers that are here. So this one, for example, this one here as well. Now we have here for sure the category dot title here we have what we have, the total video length. I don't remember it anymore, so let's go back to the models in order to check the definition. Yes, it is total video length. So coming back here, total video length, and I will pipe it with the function written in the custom filters, that is duration view. So here I will say now duration view. Okay, we'll test the result later on. Here we have for loop.counter, for loop.counter. Here we go. I think for here we have everything. Now we need to up another loop here, because each li is an item, each li is a lesson. So for lesson in category dot lessons dot all. Okay, here I need to, okay, let me just start from here and close the loop here and for. Now for the meanwhile, let's keep this as it is. So it is just URL lesson and close it. Great. And now let's start dealing with this information here. For this section here, I will add an if condition that if the lesson.lesson underscore type is equal to video. And in this case, let me just remove these spaces here and put this one here. In this case, I will show this icon that is the place circle for a video. And here we have the lesson.title. Great. And else, I will copy this one back here again. And instead of this, I need to use this one here. Okay, fine. Now let's close the if condition and if. We finished the right part. For the left part, sorry. For the right part, it's the same idea. First thing, I need to check if it is a lesson of video type, and if it is the case, I will just put the video length. So here I will say lesson.video underscore length min. Now here I can close the loop. I already did that, no need to do that again. And let me remove this one here. Okay, now we are in this section. We finished this section. I think we finished everything. The last thing is just to close this loop, so it is and for. Now let's test the results. So I will refresh the page and we have an error, unsupported operand in this case. Okay, total video length, because it should be category. Save again and refresh. Here we go. And as you can see here, you have all the data. Now let's come back here and, for example, put this 140. Okay, and I will save it. So 140 minutes. I'm just doing that to show you that to make sure that the custom filter works. And there we go, 2 hours 25. Amazing. Now everything is working, but all the links are mentioning the page lesson. We will deal with that now. Okay, so first part done. Second part now is to come back here and change the path for a lesson. So it's going to be in this way: the name of the course and then the ID of the lesson. We save that one, we come back here, we check the parameters, course underscore slug and ID. Well, let's go back now here and test the result. So render me the lesson view for a course underscore slug that is equal to lesson dot course dot slug underscore course, and then ID equal to lesson dot ID. Let's test if it works or not. Refresh. Now as you can see, we have here testing course /5/4, and here we go. Next step now is to configure this one. I already explained what we need to do here, so let's start directly by doing that. Okay, now so let me close all these and open just this one, because we are going to deal just with this one. I think we need the views just to remember everything. We have course, we have lesson, we have lessons, we have previous lesson, next lesson, and so on. Okay, now the beginning is going to be from here by configuring the title. The title, well, let's make it the lesson.title. Okay, or in another way, it could be the course title with the lesson title. I think it's enough just to say the lesson title. We will deal with that later. It's not that important. Okay, here we have the course title here. So I have, let me open this one here. I have the course title. So here I can say directly course.title. Okay, fine. Save and go down. Or for example, we can say lesson.course.title. All are same. Okay, great. Let's start. Just this one, I'm going to change it to 1. This is for styling purpose. It's not something related to this, to anything related to the data or dynamic of data and so on. Well, let's try to locate a lesson, a category. So as far as I know that this is going to be a category for sure. An accordion time. Okay. So let's go to the lesson and check it in order to understand better the structure. So this one is here. It's an accordion item. Okay. So an accordion item is a category with the lessons. Inside of it we have an h2 and a div for the lessons, and this is the same. Okay, fine. Now we can start from here. So this we can remove it. No need at all. Let me go down and remove this one. Okay, we have here was just one single lesson. We need to open the loop starting from here, okay? Because it's the same structure, something similar to the course details. For category in lesson dot course. In the course we have categories and all. Perfect. By the way, I'm not using the data returned, not all of them. For example, here I can say directly course dot categories dot all, but what I'm doing is just to show you how everything is well related and connected. This one should be loop or for loop dot counter. Then we have here for loop dot counter. Here as well we have for loop dot counter. Great. Here we have the lesson category. Well, so it is category dot title. Now let's come to this important part here. That is this one. Okay? And this one is going to be dynamic. So if I'm in the first lesson, it should be 1/2. If I'm not in the first lesson, it should be 2/2, and so on and so forth. And if I'm not in that category, it should be by default 1 over the total count of the lessons. So how to do that? Well, first thing is that I want to say if lesson dot category, okay, equal to category. We are in a loop of for category in all the categories. But now this lesson has a category, right? So if this category, lesson dot category, the category of the lesson is equal to the current category that I am iterating now on it, in this case, this is an f, so show me what a variable. What is this variable? Is lesson dot sequence underscore in category, okay? Because this one represents the number of that lesson in the category. Then I will say else. Else what? Else, if it is not the case, just put 1. Let's end if and end if here. Over what? This number is the first number on the left. On the right, we have a number that is the complete number of lessons in that given category. So it is category.lesson.count. Okay? These are predefined like attributes in Django. And they are accessible everywhere. Amazing. Now, we finished this one. Let me just directly, whenever I'm going to see the number 1, I will put that one here. So now this is the part for the category title, okay? Well, let me go back here and show you something. That this one now, okay, here, as you can see here, this div that is collapsed to 4, anyway, whatever it is, it will be dynamic in any case. There is the word show. If I click on the minus, it will be accordion dash collapse without the word show. Clicking again, I have the word show. It means that the word show expands to me that category, okay? And I want to do that dynamically. So if I am in the given category, it should be shown. If not, it should be closed. To do that, I have to create an if condition. Lesson.category equal to category. If this is the case, so please div collapse for sure. I think I copied it so I can use it directly, okay? And else, if it is not the case, it's the same, but without the word show, okay? So it's totally the same. By the way, I can remove this one. I will keep it for the meanwhile, and then I will check if I remove this one for labeling. It's not our concern now. It's just the most important thing that you are understanding what's going on here. Okay, save. Let's go to see the results. Okay, we have an error. Oh, yeah. Well, I forgot to close the loop that is here. And let me close it and then refresh. So in this way we can work step by step. And 4. Save. Refresh. Amazing. Oh, okay. Well, you notice that we have an error with this slash here. We'll check it for sure. But anyway, here we have everything perfectly. And for example, if I am in the fourth one, 1, 2, I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if I am in the 5, okay, so we need to adjust this one. Maybe as far as I remember, that the problem was from these two, so I will remove them. Okay, let's continue. By the way, before continuing, let's check the problem here. It's category.lessons. That's it. Fresh. Here we go. Now, if I am in the lesson 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me refresh that one. I'm in 2, so 2 over 3, 1 over 2, 1 over 3. Amazing. 5 should be 1 over 3, and here 2 over 2. I need to check that one again. I'm not sure that it's working perfectly. We will deal with that. 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 6 it should be. Maybe when we finish all that, I will recheck everything into details. Let's now continue to configure everything, and then we come back to check the results here. Okay, now next step is to start with this part here. We have analyze, so no need to keep all of them. Let's remove this one. Okay, let's keep it because I want that. But let's start with the loop from here. So it is if lesson in category dot lessons dot all. Okay, so if the lesson is here, represent it, or no, it's not. It shouldn't be if. It should be for loop. I want to iterate. And for. Okay, the hyperlink obviously it's going to be like we did with the courses. So URL lesson. I can copy it, by the way. It's an easier process. Let's copy it, paste it here. Okay, fine. Now the ifs and the else and all that. So let's do that in another way. So I opened that one. Let me now just jump some and here open another if. So if it is active, I want to mention that this hyperlink is active. So if lesson in category is equal to the lesson that I'm in, I will just here do this thing. I just want to say that the class of this thing, it should be active, right? So class equal active. Great. Else here we have this one but without the active word, and we have here the end of the if, and then here we can now continue normally. If, else, and if. Okay, now I think the work here is kind of similar to the previous part. So here we had this one, so let me copy it. It's the same thing, so let me just put it here first in order to check that is the same. Yeah, course content left, content left. Yeah, so it is. So I will just paste it directly here, and for the right it's also the same. So copy from here and paste it here. Save. For now we have another loop here, so we closed it here. So I think everything now is okay and perfect. Now what do we have? We still have this one. Let's remove it. This li, let's remove it. Let me go back here and check. Yeah, it is. Everything is okay. Everything is fine. And here the div is related for this one. Fine. Save and go back here. So I have an error. What's the error here? Because it applies this condition to all of them. Let me see. Okay, this one shouldn't be lesson dot title. It should be lesson in category dot title. So this one is going to be lesson in category dot title for sure. This one as well. This one as well. Okay, fine. And here I need to change in the hyperlink as well to say that the Slack course is lesson dot course dot Slack course and ID equal lesson in category dot ID. Lesson dot category and lesson in category, because this thing is dynamic. Refresh 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and since I'm here, this is going to be in this color. Now I'm here. Now I'm here, and everything now is working perfectly. Great.
هو قال
Next step is this part here.
لما
Let's
كان
see
يعمل
what we can do
converge
in
بس
this
عم
part.
تتكتر
Okay, one additional thing
requests
here is
والمثل
that
الريورد
all
ما
of
عم
them
تكون
they should be
stable.
lesson in category. So here as well. So now the result is here. Okay. Now let's go down and start in this part and see what we need to do. So this part is for the lesson itself. So
Okay.
here we have the lesson title. So lesson.title. So because we are talking about the lesson, by the way, here I will keep this one now as it is, but then we will configure it. I don't want to repeat the lesson title so much time. Well,
أي
and we have
صح.
here a button to go back to the course, which is this one here, the X button.
هلا أنا اليوم
Okay,
كنت عم
so
بعمل
this one should
رن
be
لأشياء
configured.
SRL.
I will say
البي بي ما
URL
كان أبدا
course
عم بيعمل معي
details.
كونفيرج. إذا
The
بتجرب
course
السوفت
underscore
أكتر كريتيك
slug
على طول أسرع
is equal to the lesson
بالكونفرجنس.
course dot slug
هو
underscore
إذا عم
course.
تستعمل ستيبل بيز لاينز بس بتغير
Let's test it. Save, refresh. Okay,
الإم
great. It works.
جرب
Now let's continue.
خليها
So we
نوت لأنه
completed
طول
this part.
السوفت
This is the source of the
مثلا
video.
باليوز كيس اللي أنا عم بشتغل عليها
So
ولا مرة
it should be
وأعمل
lesson
كونفيرج.
dot video underscore
كونفيرج
URL.
وبجرب على أكتر
Okay.
من
Let me now
مثلا من
refresh.
انبوت على طول إنه البي بي
Correct.
كتير بطيء.
Here we
حتى
have the
في
amazing
أكتر
part
من
of the
مشكلة
previous
بيقول
and
في
next buttons,
AS
previous lesson,
إنه
next
في كتير
lesson.
إشياء إنه
But
هو
before
معروف
we
سوفت
continue,
أكتر
let
كريتيك
me
أصلا
just
منه
adjust this
لأنه بيعرف يعمل
because
exploration exploitation بطريقة
this is just
محددة.
for a video, but sometimes we have written lessons. So let me first add a condition.
لا مش A to C
that if the
ال
lesson
SAC.
dot lesson type equal to video, okay, and in this case I will show this this div. I mean, if it is not the case, I will say else, and I will say here I will say the same thing but in a different way. So I will open another div that is class equal content. Inside of it we have lesson dot content pipe with safe, and then close the div. I think now it's better. Now and if. So step by step to make sure that everything is okay. This is a test also. This is a test. Great. Next part is the previous and next buttons. And for sure you know that they need to be shown just in specific cases. So it's very simple. I will say if previous, not big P but small p, if previous underscore lesson, and if the same strategy here, if next underscore lesson, and if the link here is something very important we need to deal with, is the link itself. So the link here is going to be URL of a lesson page where the slug underscore course is going to be previous underscore lesson dot course dot slug underscore course, and the ID is equal to previous lesson dot ID. Let me directly check it. Okay, I know maybe the error is due to this one here. It's course underscore slug. Save, refresh. Here we go. Then the same thing here in this one, but it will be the next lesson. So here instead we will say next and next. Save, and let's see the results. Okay, what's the problem here? Next underscore lesson. Oh, okay, sorry. Underscore lesson. I'm a bit encouraged because I want to see the results. Let's click on the first lesson. We just have next lesson. Let's click at this, the last lesson. We have just previous. Let's click, for example, here, and we are now in 2/2, and click on the next. So it will take me, this one is not going to be 1/2, and now I'm here. If I click next again, I'm here. If I click next again, I'm here. Amazing. We finished this one perfectly. I don't think we still have anything to do with this template. Thank you so much.